Morning, everybody. It is Saturday, April the 6th, and just wanted to touch base. I know it's been a little bit since I've been on here and just had a couple crazy weeks here. So I do want to say, first of all, thank you to all the new subscribers. If you're here for the first time, I really appreciate it. And if you're a long time coming back, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you have suggestions for things too, always leave them in the comments. If there's something you'd like to, that we could discuss, we could talk about. Maybe down the road when we get maybe more of a bigger audience here, well, maybe we can start doing some live feeds with some live chat, things like that. But for now, I just want to kind of touch on a few things that are going on right now, and one being the eclipse that's coming up here in a couple of days. And I'm probably a little late on this video. I know people have been talking about it for weeks, but I've kind of looked into this a little bit, and I mean, obviously, I think we all know what an eclipse is, and I know it's kind of a historical thing to an extent. I know they do happen periodically, things like that, and maybe some people just, to them it's no big deal. But my concern is kind of the response that has been coming out from a lot of the communities, and some certain areas they're declaring states of emergency. They're telling their citizens to stock up on 2 weeks worth of food. There's school closings already, and I've looked into this and I don't see anything that's real obvious as to why. And I do have a friend that has a son that's a police officer, so I asked him about it, and he's in another state. He's not here in PA, but and I asked him to if he had heard anything, and he said that they're just planning some of these communities because they're in certain areas of the country. I guess the eclipse is going to be better visible. So some of these communities are just kind of getting ready for maybe an influx of people. But my question is this. I mean, the total eclipse is only, I think it's supposed to last like roughly 3 hours total. And it's not a complete, it doesn't completely black everything out. I guess in certain areas you're going to be able to see it. It's going to close, and it's going to be rather quick. So my question is, what are they warning us about, or what are they trying to get us prepared um, for an event that's basically just out of our control anyway? Do the higher ups know something? I mean, they're telling people to, have your cars ready to go, and have emergency preparedness plans in action. And like I said, they're closing. Some of the schools are closed for that day, and it kind of begs the question as to why. I mean, I understand maybe there's some areas that are going to have a little bit of gridlock, things like that, but I would think as far as schools go, I would think that would be a good study lesson for the day. Maybe make it Eclipse Day at the school, and we talk about that or whatever it is. But instead, they're closing all the schools down, and we're preparing like a natural disaster is on its way. So I've kind of looked into it, and I gotta be honest with you, I don't see a whole lot. At least there's nothing obvious out there that's like, hey, we're planning on this. But certain areas are planning on possible power outages and all these things. So it goes back to, once again, have your plans in order before these events take place. I mean, if you're here, I would think you're obviously a little bit concerned with being prepared, and you're interested in preparedness and things like that. So definitely, I really don't know what to say on this. Like I said, I'm curious as to the timing. I'm curious as to what they're fearing from this, as as why we need to be so prepared for an event that is going to basically take up an afternoon. So if you have any insight into something, or you're maybe something that we don't, please feel free to share that in the comments with us, because I would love to know. But it's almost, there's something that's, I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically like, people will warn you when they're going to do something evil, or when something's going to happen. And they kind of do it so openly that people almost take it for granted. And I'm kind of wondering if that's it here. I'm wondering if there's some intelligence maybe that something is going to go down. I know we've had these eclipses in the past, and I don't really know that the grid has gone down. But I know that there have been some, over the last year or so, there has been some attacks on some of the substations. I know in California, and I don't believe they've ever caught the people that were involved in that. And now with all these, with the, basically flooding our borders with people that we don't know who's coming over here, which we do know there's military age men, and I'm sure there's, they've already arrested some people that were, involved in terror and things like that. But, could there be some intelligence that's basically, something big is going to go down and they're going to use the day of the eclipse as the catalyst for that? I don't know. I really don't know. Um, but there's so much that's suspect about this to me. And like I said, I've looked into it. As far as the actual eclipse event itself, nothing really seems to stand out to me. Now, I'm not an astronomer. Obviously, I'm not a scientist. But if it wasn't for anything in the news that I've heard, or any of these, local agencies calling for, to be prepared and things like that, I probably would have, it would have been just a small blip on my radar with this eclipse. Not that I wouldn't be interested in seeing it or whatever, because I guess it is kind of historic or whatever. But for the most part, I would have never really gotten excited about anything else happening around it. So, like I said, if you have any insight you'd like to share with the rest of us, please do. I would definitely be open to hear what you have to say. If and no conspiracy theories. I mean, I don't. I mean, we all. I know we're probably all at this point. I don't trust anything that the media or the government tells us from either side. So, we've talked about that before. So, anyway, I guess just say, hey, if you can, grab a few things while you're out if you need to, because I don't know at this point. I'm really not sure what they're expecting to happen. Whether they're expecting a solar flare or for the grid to go down. If there's some intelligence, there's going to be attacks. I don't know. Obviously, we're never going to know till it's too late. But I just wanted to throw that out there, and I also wanted to throw out some of the other things that are going on. I mean, there's a lot of things going on right now, across the planet. I mean, if you're not aware of it by now, I don't know what to tell you, because it's everywhere. But there's things that I guess we should be concerned about. There's a lot of saber rattling all over the world. I mean, the conflicts are just breaking out everywhere. It's um, don't even hardly know what to do each day. It seems like every day we get up is bad news. But just definitely be aware. Definitely maybe take turns, because there's intelligence. There's going to be some terror attacks here in America, which I wouldn't doubt it at this point. I mean, it's they're happening in other parts of the world. If you didn't catch the one in Russia, they killed, I believe it was about 300 people at I think it was a music festival or some kind of a concert hall or something like that. Now, they did catch four of the suspects, and I don't know if you've seen any of the footage, but the Russians weren't very kind to them, which I'm not going to get on here and disagree with that. Um, so they're probably gonna wish they had died in the attack also, because I know the Russians don't play games over there. But with all the craziness going on in the world, I guess we should look at I guess possibilities of what could happen here. Whether we'll see any real fighting on our soil, I wouldn't. I can't say for sure or not. But the military is calling up some retired, some people that have recently retirees, calling them back into service. That's kind of telling. There's a lot of things going on. I know some people have reported that they live near bases down south along the East Coast, that they've noticed an influx of like equipment gathering and things like that. And I'm sure we're going to start sending people overseas for some of this stuff, because the conflicts are breaking out. As I'm saying this right now, there's a lot of tension on between Israel and Iran, and in that whole region is just we know what's going on there. So, but yeah, I would say once again, keep your head on a swivel while you're out. Kind of be aware of your surroundings. If you see something that's maybe seems out of place, maybe remove yourself from the area. If you see something suspicious, I guess report it. Um, but don't live in paranoia either. We can't continue to do that. But we do need to be informed, and being informed is not being paranoid. That's wanting to be on top of the situation. So definitely do that. Anywhere you're out, especially in crowds. You're starting to go to events and stuff. You might. I don't want to tell you to rethink things, and I don't want to tell people to just sit at home in fear. But definitely be aware of what's going on around you and those around you. Even when, like we've talked about before, even when you're, out and about, just keep an eye on things, see if there's anything that seems out of place or suspicious. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I just wanted to touch on these couple things. I mean, I know nothing real profound today, probably nothing you haven't heard, but the eclipse thing is one of those things that's kind of a head scratcher to me. Um, as to why they're calling for all this. So, um, as always, be vigilant. Be aware. Be prepared. Whatever, and do that to the level you believe in. Because there's, even in certain areas, I don't know where you all live, obviously, but even the crime rates, some of the things that are going on. If you see some of the things in Canada, I mean, home invasions and carjackings are, I guess through the roof in some of these areas because they've left people defenseless, and it's and they're trying to do the same thing here. But if you can, make sure you have a security plan in place for yourself and for your house, whether you're here, in your own home or you're out and about. It's definitely something to think about. Make sure you can do what you can to keep yourself and your family safe. But anyway, we'll let this one go. Just kind of be aware, I guess, on Monday, and I don't know what your plans are. If you plan on going somewhere to watch this eclipse or whatever, maybe just kind of keep an eye out. Maybe there's some intelligence that something is going to go on that we're just not aware of. So, and obviously the government's not going to tell us till it's, till it happens. Then they'll come out and tell us how, oh yeah, we knew that was going to happen. So we know where the trust lies with our government these days. So anyway, be safe. I will see you guys on the next one. And once again, thanks for everybody that's stopping in. I do appreciate it. If you can, like and subscribe. If you think it's something that's important here, you want to share it, please do. I really do appreciate it. And I'll try to get some more out here. Like I said, I've been a little bit busy this last couple of weeks. So anyway, thanks for stopping. God bless everybody, and I will see you on the next one.